Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're looking at another retro digital camera. The year 2000, the millennium bug aside, a couple of other things happened. At work, our Nikon Coolpix 900 decided to decapitate itself by breaking at the swivel hinge and rendering itself completely useless. We decided to replace our original Nikon with the Olympus C-3040, which back in the day was a huge £700, which was quite a big spend for a small marketing department like ours. The other big thing which happened in the year 2000 was of course the launch of the social media site Friends Reunited, which before Facebook came along was quite a big thing back in the early noughties. And both those two things neatly provide me with a very tenuous link to present day. I particularly like searching out those oddball cameras, things like that. However, when this rather conventional C-3040 turned up, I couldn't help but put on those rose tinted spectacles and enjoy a slice of early noughties nostalgia. For a reasonable sum, I picked up this box example complete with all of the leaflets and guides, CD software, pretty much everything, including the torturous serial port cable, which gave me nothing but headaches trying to download the photos from the camera. Looking back at this little Olympus, the images that you get out of it were particularly impressive for the day. When you consider that most of the average consumer cameras were still something like a 0.8 of a megapixel to 1.3 of a megapixel, and this was packing out 3.3 megapixels, it was pretty much ahead of the game. But again, that's why it was £700. So that was really aimed at a serious photographer or perhaps a business like ours. This little digital camera was a great addition to our college marketing department, where it photographed events, images for prospectuses and press releases and other publications, as well as images for one of those newfangled things, a website. Now 3.3 megapixels is not a lot in today's terms, however at the time, combined with the fast f1.8 lens, it turned out some bloomin' good images for the day. That was all well and good 22 years ago, but what's it like today? Well, I headed out recently, took the camera with me, put it to the test and came back with these photos. There are so many things to like about these cam media cameras. Particularly, they were quite robust. In fact, ours did several years service before it finally fell on its own sword and had some issue with the zoom lens coming off the threads. Whilst you could never argue that the C-3040 is a beautiful camera to look at, it was quite practical, quite nicely finished. This lovely big hand grip was very comfortable to use, and it allows you to operate the zoom, the mode dial and the function buttons on the back single-handedly. The spark finish on the exterior of the casing is quite a nice touch, and it allows a little bit more grip as well as an attractive finish. A few of the not so good bits, well, that viewfinder is very small by today's standards. The protruding rear screen is a magnet for damage, and for some reason quite a lot of Olympuses seem to have this. It's a real effort to get into the battery case at the bottom. There we go. The biggest downside to the little C-3040, however, is the choice of memory cards. The smart media cards were larger than today's SD cards, and they were quite short-lived because not only is tech in their own right, they only lasted for a couple of years. However, the lifespan of the actual card was significantly shorter than your SD card because it didn't have any wear leveling chips inside the card, so often you would come back and find that the card had gone totally corrupt and was completely useless. Couple that with the fact that they only came in sizes up to 128 megabytes, you can soon imagine how fast that digital cameras were improving. So soon the average digital camera needed a card that could cope with much higher capacities, and the days of the smart media card were soon over. Now to complete the reunion, if anybody does have a working Nikon Coolpix 900, I promise I'll look after it. Well, that's another video done for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. As ever, please do give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Share it with your friends if they like old digital cameras too. And why not, in fact, go and watch some more of my videos. It really helps out the channel an awful lot. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now. The spark finish on the outside of the casing is quite a nice touch. There's the cat. Yep. Hello, cat. One downside to old cameras like this are often their choice of media cards, and the Olympus is no exception, using the rather notorious smart media system. The design of the cards also created a problem in the fact that the largest card you could have was 128 megabytes, and with the advances in digital cameras at the time, very soon these cards were no use because they were too small in capacity. So very quickly, bloody cat, can you hear him? Oh, shush, go away.